And we're back with Dream Daddies versus Team Billy. If somebody wants to tell me who Team Billy is, I'd love to know, but they're currently the team sitting at the top of the charts in Shurima, so this one should be a real banger.
Absolutely.
For Team Billy, we've got the Illuminati 17 in the top lane playing Mordekaiser in game one. We've got I Am Stro playing Lee Sin in the jungle. I Glitchy playing some Talon in the mid lane. Joe Killera playing Ashe with a Aoka Lulu in the bot lane. On the other side for Dream Daddies, we've got Cheese Blaze playing Malphite in the top lane. Strom on Vi in the jungle. Nikki might playing that spicy Soraka mid lane. Young Feed on the Yasuo ADC, and ZZ Dog playing Zyra in the bot lane.
Yeah, so one thing I do want to say about these teams. So first of all, Team Billy, undefeated, I believe up to this point. So Dream Daddies is going to want to look to shut that down because I think they have dropped a couple games that were really close. So they want to definitely do something to turn their season around. And Dream Daddies is an unfortunate team to try to draft into because I think outside of Cheese Blaze, the rest of the team can play any role. So
Well, that's a problem. I didn't know about that team. I just know that this draft looks real interesting, real spicy. It's clearly a Yasuo comp. They're putting everything into getting that guy ahead, fed, and carrying with the Soraka heals, triple knock-up ults from the rest of the team, a lot of CC. It's going to be real interesting to see how this comp plays out. On the side of Team Billy, they're playing more traditional. They've got that Talon to supply the AD in the mid with the Mordekaiser in top lane, so they're not over-indexing, which is a good thing because Malphite would be a huge problem. But that Malphite Mordekaiser lane, I think, is going to be the big turning point in favor of Team Billy if they can get that Mordekaiser up and rolling. He's the biggest problem that Yasuo could have.
absolutely, yeah. If Yasuo it gets ulted out by that Mordekaiser, there goes the whole comp for Dream Daddies. So Yasuo's going to want to look to pay that QSS tax as early as possible. And Dream Daddies is going to want to look to do everything they can to get grouped up as 5 and look for a clean team fight because this pick comp coming out of Team Billy is deadly.
Yeah, let's get loaded onto the Rift. I agree. The pick comp, the Talon and the Lee have so much mobility. We're going to get loaded on real quick and see how the Soraka Vi managed to survive into that Talon Lee Sin jumping all over the place.
Hasagi!
All right, and as we've got the champions loading onto the Rift right here, it looks like a 5-point from the blue side of Dream Daddies. They're pinging out their spots. Looks like it's going to be matched, although there aren't any pings by Team Billy. Neither team looking to do anything particularly shenanigansy, which isn't too surprising. Neither level 1 is especially oppressive at this point.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Both teams are built more around their skirmishing mid to late game. I think that the skirmishing edge definitely goes in favor of Billy, but the team fight, if they can get a proper 5-on-5, has got to be Dream Daddy's favorite.
Absolutely, yeah. That Malphite ult onto 1 or even 2 targets into the Yasuo ult. That's all. That would be all she wrote for Team Billy, assuming this game's in an even state.
Minions have spawned.
I'm really interested to see how this Soraka Talon lane goes in the mid lane. I feel like it is either going to tilt really hard in favor of Talon, or the Soraka's just going to be unkillable and obnoxious.
Yeah, so Nikomite is notorious for playing these supportive mid laners. So his top 2 picks are Zillion and Soraka mid. So he got one of his top 2. So we're gonna look to see him frustrate, I'll say, the Talon. I'm sure.
Looks like a pretty normal start from both junglers. Vi looks like she's going to go for a buff Gromp in an early gank. Lee Sin looks like he is going to go blue to Gromp. We'll see if he's going to look for the red buff into a gank or if he's going to do a fuller clear. This Soraka already slapping Talon around. That would be so frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, Soraka's rough to play into in the duo lane, let alone a solo lane where she can just absolutely abuse her range advantage.
A little bit of trading going down in the top lane. Malphite using the speed steal as a good way to get out of that Mordekaiser shred. It does look like Lee Sin's going for more of a full clear, while Vi is just finishing up her Gromp. We'll see what she wants to do next.
I'm choosing to opt into the single target camps, which is fine. She does have some AoE, but this gets her to the Scuttle Crab on spawn.
Ping out coming top. Vi's definitely looking for that buff to gank. Here she's coming. Mord walks up. This could be trouble for Illuminati. Let's see. Q lands, QE, and that's a dead Mord. That is picture perfect how you want to play that early game from Vi. Walks away though, leaving Malphite to clean up the wave. Might be a problem. Lee Sin's coming, the TP's there. This might be a return kill. Nice flash by the Malphite to dodge the return kill. And that was beautifully played by Dream Daddies to get that top lane in favor of the Malphite early. Lee Sin invading to try to pick something up, but the clear from Vi is going to counter that out. Doesn't quite kill that wolf. Oh, didn't reset her own camp. That's a rough one.
Yeah, so really great execution on the side of Dream Daddies there. You can tell that that was their game plan for the first couple levels there, and they played it absolutely perfectly. Cheeseblaze did a great job of keeping that wave in a great position to pull off that gank. I Am Stro does what he can to try to convert back, but again, just really well played by Cheeseblaze.
And the poor pushing power of Mord early shown there. Cheeseblaze manages to leave the wave pushing and walk back without losing a significant amount of pressure in that lane. Down a bit of CS, but that's what happens when you have to flash out to escape. And they're sending 4 to the bot lane right now. Joe Killa gets hit, flashes out. The flash forward from Yasuo misses, doesn't quite connect because the heal gives that speed boost that's needed to escape. Lee Sin Q connects onto the Soraka, but Soraka's not taking that. He's getting smacked. He has to run away. Talon sneaking into the bush here, though. 2v2. There's the damage through, but the barrier comes out. Ignite down.
Uh-oh.
And because of the collapse from the bot lane, Yasuo not in position to help, and so they're able to get the collapse down that they need to take the Vi's life. Zyra's pushed up a bit. Yasuo gets a plate all to himself, however, so the gold's not quite equal there, but in favor. Lee Q syndrome goes through. Yasuo goes forward.
Oh,
So
Young
far,
Fiends.
nothing bad happens, and Young Fiend manages to survive, as does I Am Stro. And pretty big lead for this this Yasuo right now, even though he doesn't have a whole lot of kill pressure. He's going to finish up about 20 CS in 1 plate from everything that just went down.
That's a fantastic start for him. He's up 300 gold. So despite the scoreline, he's got basically a kill lead on the Ashe. Looks like he's going to back and get a... He's got enough money for a BF, so I'm interested to see if he picks up a Zeal or if he goes for the greedy BF sword.
You have to think he's going to get the Zeal here. I think it's a stronger item. Oh, this is before the Zeal buffs, though. I actually don't know then.
Yeah.
There's the BF sword.
Yeah.
Oh, and he switches it out for the Zeal. He thinks better of it. He goes Zeal refillable. He realizes that they're playing for late game. He is their win condition. He has to be a little careful, a little smart with this. Zyra pushes the wave into turret so it burns.
Yeah, good prioritization with his gold there, because yeah, the BF sword is tempting, but the Zeal is going to be much better in the long run for him in this early game.
Especially with the refillable pot to help keep that pressure up. Malphite just hits top. He's getting bullied in the top lane. However, Vi walks on top of a ward trying to take this crab. Talon's level 6. Soraka's not quite. Lee Sin's wandering over to try to contest this crab. They might be trying to collapse on this Vi, who's just barely going to get the crab before the Lee Sin Q. Is he going to get out, though? Talon's trying to collapse. Takes the safe route. Manages to escape courtesy of Nicky Mite's vision on that Talon. But Lee Sin and Talon on the chase. The Q connects. Soraka might be going down. The ulti comes through. And that is a dead Soraka.
Yikes. Yeah, the early Executioner's Calling really paying off for Talon here. Soraka is not getting much healing from that Q when that Executioner's Calling is procced.
Really good itemization from the Talon to sacrifice the early lead a little bit in favor of that. Lee manages to take away the blue buff of Vi, who's stuck holding the turret top, but does hit 6. Malphite TP down bot lane. He's got ulti up.
Oh.
This might be the play to get Young Fiend going, but there's not a level 6. Young Fiend just hits level 6. They managed to put 1 kill on Young Fiend, 1 kill on the Zyra. Those are the 2 big damage threats on this team. Good TP, good ulti from the Malphite, but they're going to lose at least 1 plate of the top lane over to the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, that's a big TP by Cheeseblaze there because, I mean, just playing into this win condition of the Yasuo it's huge for them. This is definitely key to them getting the money in the position where they want it. Unfortunately, Young Fiend does take a couple tower shots there, so he's probably not going to be able to help with this plate.
Looks like he might have just barely gotten that plate goal before his back finished.
Oh, he sure
and
did.
with the ability to force the pressure down bot lane, Strom, after catching a lot of waves under that top turret, manages to pick up a free Rift Herald. What remains to be seen now is, are they gonna? Yeah, they're just gonna try to sneak away this dragon. Dream Daddies are suspicious. They don't have any vision for sure, but they know that it's dangerous. They're just gonna give it over. First dragon, it's a Windrake. It's not worth it to them to risk their lives.
Yeah, they ping it out. That's really well played, honestly, by Dream Daddies there. To not overreach, you traded the Herald effectively for the dragon there, so really well played, I think, by them. But also good heads-up play by Team Billy to capitalize and get something back in for the Mortal onto the Malphite.
Also, a really good giving up of the red buff there. Vi knew that they were over there, knew that they were in their jungle, just full cleared her red side. But the Soraka's down, or not the Soraka, the Zyra dies bot lane as they send 4 bot lane to handle this problem here. But over-aggression leads into a dead Lee. However, the Ashe ulti stops any further damage being dealt by Young Fiend. The ultimate from Vi holds Talon initially, but they're going to dive successfully. Lulu gets out, Talon gets out. Really, really good dive on the side of Team Billy, despite the fact that a little bit of over-aggression. They managed to turn around a little bit for Dream Daddies, but not quite what they wanted.
Yeah, so Mordekaiser has a huge lead in this top lane, which is kind of what we expected, but oh man, that was close. Really good buffer on the Q there, but
both flashes out of top laners. CP advantage is in favor of the Illuminati as he just pressures down this top lane. We knew this was a bad lane for the Malphite, but man, if Illuminati's not making it real bad.
yeah, 45 plus CS lead on the Mordekaiser. The result is a 1k gold lead through CS alone, because Malphite has picked up 3 assists. So that's, it's huge for this Mordekaiser. He's got a 2 level lead as well. So that TP down bot damn well better pay off for this Yasuo. Otherwise, DD is going to be in a bad spot.
Well, we do have to realize, though, that Vi did catch 2 or 3 waves under that turret after that TP. Oh, the Talon's flanking. He's been seen. He doesn't know that Vi's here. This could be real bad for the Talon. The shield comes out. Knock up. Talon's being chunked, but the Talon damage is just too much. The Lulu ulti comes out, and with the healing reduction, it's just not going to matter. It looked like it was going to be a real good counter-engage, counter-pick onto the Talon, but Lulu's too much, Talon's too big. Mordekaiser ult coming in the top lane.
He's basically ulting Malphite on cooldown at this point.
Yeah. Flash forward from the lead, flash out of the Soraka, kick onto the Vi. Vi's gonna go down despite ulting. I don't know. What do you think Dream Daddies can do to get back into this game? It's looking real bad to me. The Lulu and the Ashe and the Talon are all huge. Mordekaiser, despite being 0-1 and 0, is 50 CS up on the top lane. 60 CS up on the top lane, excuse me.
Yeah, so if you're Dream Daddies here, you're going to want to be, despite the gold deficit, you're definitely going to want to still be looking to get your all 5 team members to one objective at a time. Because Team Billy, this is the nature of their draft, right? They are going to win. If they have numbers, they win. If they single you out,
Oh,
they
looks
win.
like another catch going on down in the bot lane. But not quite enough. Now there's 4 responding. It's going to be a 4v4. The advantage to this might slightly go in favor of Dream Daddies just due to the fact that they have higher health bars. But it's important to remember that Talon is massive, and his ult is up. The burst that comes out, he drags the blades through, but jumps over the wall. He might not have a way out of here. This might be the catch. He goes down. The Ashe arrow connects on the Vi. Ult comes through, knocking up 2. And the Lee gets there in time to turn it back around. Everybody's low. Oh, flash forward from the Zyra. Is it going to be enough? No, Joe Kill is still alive. The silence comes out. The root comes out. And that's a kill for the Zyra. That's one for the Soraka. They might be able to turn this around. And that was beautifully done by Dream Daddies to turn around that situation and manage to take a 2 for 4 out of the 4v4 there.
Even numbers working out really well for DD here. I think this is definitely the types of plays that they're going to want to look for, but they need to get this Malphite out of the side lane, because otherwise there's really no point in drafting him. So Malphite either needs to let this tower go and try to make a rotation for this drag, which he is backing now, and he does have the teleport.
TP advantage for the Mord, but it might not matter because the Zyra goes down to the Talon. Talon manages to burst that up. Vile comes through. Is it going to be enough? The smite for the heal, but it's just not quite enough. Yasuo dashes forward onto the dragon. The Talon's going to manage to walk out. Just too much damage from that Talon.
Yeah.
The Triumph heal was really clutch there for Talon.
Absolutely. And the Illuminati picks up first tower in the top lane. So this is 2 Drakes and a first tower over to Team Billy here. The gold lead is approaching 3k and an Infernal Soul.
They really need to try to set a play up against this Mordekaiser or just get away from him. There comes the ult. Mord doesn't know that he's being collapsed on here. Malphite's running. Oh, they're mispositioning around this. Q comes through. Oh, there's the combo Q ulti, and there's a shutdown onto the Malphite. That's a huge swing for them.
Yeah,
that
that's
actually... Malphite's still almost 2k gold down, but oh, what a combo. That kick into Ashel was clean.
Yeah,
Maybe
really
a little bit more than they needed. They probably could have just kicked and killed, but...
Yeah, they're just showing off at this point.
But it looked pretty.
Yep. Yasuo needs to find a way out of here.
Yasuo stuck under turret, just trying to back there. Wait. Oh, I forgot. If you pop his shield and it doesn't do damage, he still backs.
Yep.
Oh, poor Aoka. Aoka thought he was going to stop that, walked away, wasn't enough. Yasuo escapes, but the turret still falls.
Vi does trade the Herald top again though, so again, good heads up play by Strong here to see that his team needs something out of these plays that Team Billy's been making, and is able to effectively trade the Herald again.
I know that the Warrior was finished before. Oh, here we go. Another fight going down in the mid lane. Young Fiend manages to survive. Heals coming through from both himself and Soraka. Talon is ultless and igniteless. Looks like that trade might have gone slightly in the favor of Dream Daddies as far as burning less for more. There goes the knockup, but they don't take the jump. Snare misses, a little bit of damage there. And back to neutral states. As I was trying to say before things got spicy, I know that the Warrior on Vi came through early, but with the current state where Vi is, I would like to see the Vi opt into more of a defensive build here.
At this point, when you're this far behind, you definitely need to just start concede the fact that you're not going to be a damage threat and just be tanky. Get down into the back line of this team and get as many spell rotations as you can.
Ooh, really good sidestep by ZZ Dog to deny the kick from I Am Stro.
Malphite picked up that tower. He's looking to rotate mid. I think this is a really good team fight for them if they can get it. The 3v5 definitely goes in their favor here.
The Lee Sin kick dash back, just trying to be a little flashy, but what that does is it puts his things on cooldown. If they can get this catch off, they have ultimates up across the field. Everybody except for Soraka has their ults up on Dream Daddy. Lee goes in, Malphite's there. He hasn't ulted yet. Who's he gonna ult? He hasn't decided. He gets polymorph, walks in on the Lulu, is just trying to beat the Lee Sin to death, flashes away. I don't know why he held his ult that long.
Yeah.
And the Talon's gonna jump over, and that's a team fight loss. Oh, good Zanya's. Nice double shutdown for the Zyra to make that less of a problem. It was not a clean ace, but I don't know why they held that Malphite ult that long. Did the Mordekaiser ult out the Yasuo and they were waiting to try to set up? They were waiting to try to set up the Yasuo ulti.
That might be the case, but yeah, that team fight really boils down to really great execution on the part of Team Billy and poor execution on the part of Dream Daddy. So I think Malphite needs to take the engage and not wait in the side there, because he's tank Malphite, he's not assassin Malphite. You have to be the one starting these fights, and if he pulls that trigger a little bit earlier, Yasuo gets his ult off before Mordekaiser even shows up, and that team fight's a completely different story.
I agree completely. He walked into the back line and was slapping the Lulu and the Lee Sin, but you're not gonna be able to slap a Lee Sin to death even as Malphite when there's a Lulu providing healing and shields. Oh, a pick! They might get the Talon here. The Zyra E into the Vi ulti, but the Talon is just too big. He can't be killed. His invisibility saves him. They might run down this Mord, however. They're sending the whole team. Mord tries to E to save himself. He's silenced, he's rooted, and the Mord does fall.
Yeah, he's got no ult there, so he's not going to be able to trade one back, but this is really a really big pick for DD here, right before the drag comes up. Let's see if they can make this dragon fight happen. They have the numbers. Malphite ult is up. Yasuo ult's up. They need to... Let's pull the trigger, DD.
All of the gold is on Zyra right now, so one of their two damage threats has the gold. Lee trying to be sneaky. He's going to try to get the Q to steal. Lands the Q. The Ashe ulti goes through. Blue team secures the smite. Lee goes down. Dragon and a trade kill onto the Lee. This is what DD needed to get back in this game. The gold is only split by about 2,500, and they just picked up a dragon.
Yeah, that was really big for DD there. That is exactly how they claw their way back into this game. Team Billy is going to excel at picking them apart, but as long as they can...
Oh, Malphite ulti onto the Talon. He's silenced. He manages to jump away over the wall. He's in a poor spot. It just matters if they're willing to collapse. They're going to try to force the Baron. This is, I think, a little bit greedy. We'll see how this plays out. Mort walks up. He should have his ultimate. We'll see what he does with it. He lands his ultimate onto the Yasuo. Yasuo's fighting, but Yasuo dies while in the Death Realm. The Talon's still surviving, causing absolute havoc. Mordekaiser walks up, kills the Zyra. Both of the damage threats are down, kills the Malphite. Now there's a triple kill onto that Mordekaiser. All of the damage threats are down. I don't know about that call to start the Baron there.
Yeah, that was a really risky, maybe 20% success rate play. I mean, Malphite had just used his ult. You don't have any ability to fight over objectives anymore. Not sure also why Yasuo didn't ult off the Malphite ult. Maybe he couldn't see or target Talon because of the stealth, but...
I'm not entirely sure, but I think that they definitely should have collapsed and just focused on that Talon pick. The rest of Team Billy was going to try to collapse in behind them, but Talon was deep in their jungle and at less than half health with no ulti. I think that the call to turn onto Baron was way premature, and they paid the price for it.
Really good guiding on that red buff there to keep it from getting frustrated and resetting.
As Talon starts the red buff, goes over to the Raptors, leaves the red buff for Ashe. I was laughing about that too.
Alright, so 5K, 5.5K gold lead for Team Billy here. A lot of that gold is probably on Mordekaiser. Yeah, Mordekaiser has a 2.5k gold lead alone in top lane. 1k gold lead for the jungler on the side of Team Billy, and oh my gosh, 4k gold lead on Talon over the Soraka, which to be expected, honestly. Soraka doesn't really do a lot to contest Talon, just keeps the lane safe and ideally even, not so much in this case because Talon has a ton of kills. Yasuo is down 800 gold as well, which is really unfortunate for a team comp that's built around him.
I think part of the problem is the Yasuo keeps getting sold out. It's hard to run a one-person comp into something like a Mordekaiser that can smack that one person down. They do have the Zyra to provide a lot of damage also, but the Zyra is not who their comp is built around. And there's engages going on both sides of the map. The Ash Arrow lands, the Talon flashes forward, almost manages to kill. In the ult realm, Mordekaiser kills the Soraka, is still holding Soraka and Malphite in the bot lane. Vi manages to save Yasuo. However, Zyra and Soraka still fall. And with the Baron buff, it's looking like they're going to siege up all 3 lanes at once here. Team Billy just looking to push their advantage any way they can.
Yeah, that was massive by Illuminati there too.
And the Malphite ult into the Yasuo and the Vi ult's not staggered the best, but they do manage to pick up the kill on I Am Stro. I think you have to make a play there, so I understand why they did it. It might save 2 of their lanes for them. I don't know if Lee Sin was the person to make that play onto, but any pick you can get at this point is a good pick.
Yeah, they definitely need to start making those small things happen to bring this game back to a more even state. Oh, ZZ Dog's caught.
Young Fiend looks like he DCs there maybe, walks forward, walks backward, just gets bursted by the Talon. I think something we might have overlooked when we were looking at this Talon-Soraka matchup in the beginning is Soraka's really obnoxious for AP assassins because of how long it takes them to build healing reduction. But against an AD assassin like a Talon or a Zed, Executioner's is 800 gold.
True. That's a really good point. Speaking of items, Talon has picked up a Death Stance, Duskblade, Tiamat, and Executioner's Calling. Ashe has a Bork, Hurricane, and Executioner's Calling, and looks like she's maybe going for a Zeal item, possibly. Yasuo has picked up the Infinite Edge and Static Shiv. Lulu has an Ardent Censer. Zyra has Leandri's Torment. Athene's Holy Grail is the only item on the Soraka, really. She's building into a Zonia's, and Team Billy starts up the Infernal Drake.
Really good call to give it up, but ZZ Dog getting a little too greedy, and if they're going to give it up like that, they really just need to back off. It looks like they're going to lose 2 because they couldn't make up their mind whether they wanted to contest or back up.
Yeah. Yikes.
Really good itemization coming through from Team Billy. They've got healing reduction on both of their AD carries. They've got the Death Stance on Talon, which functionally neutralizes the ability to burst him out, which is the only way that it looks like Dream Daddies is going to be able to kill him.
Got a ton of healing too with that Death Stance, healing 15% of all the damage that he does.
And Mordekaiser's just massive. Walks forward, tanking the turret like it's nothing. Smacks down the Yasuo with just a couple of autos and a Q. I think this one might be over.
Team Billy really flexing the muscles here.
Vi manages to dash away. Ashe kiting the Malphite. Mordekaiser smacks. Ooh, big Malphite ult on the floor, followed by the Vi ult. They managed to shut down the Talon. Mordekaiser still walking forward and tanking. I Am Stro manages to kill the Vi. ZZ Dog manages to pick up the Lulu. They're actually managing to stay alive on the side of Dream Daddies. They're managing to turn this around a little bit, trade it back. Oh, the chasing auto, fadeaway auto from ZZ Dog picks up Stro after he jumps away. In the Death Realm, the Malphite will fall to Mordekaiser, but it's now a 3v1 on the Mordekaiser. He gets knocked up, he gets smacked down, and Young Feed picks up a huge shutdown onto the Mordekaiser. Dream Daddies managed to pull it off. They live. They're still down 8K, but that was exactly what they needed to not fall at that point.
Absolutely. So that just goes to show you that all Dream Daddies has to do is pull the trigger on these team fights as soon as possible. Granted, they were able to get some picks before that team fight, and with a 10k gold deficit, which is what it was at the time, it doesn't seem as viable of an option. Playing to your win condition is all you can do at this point.
I mean, just looking at itemization, I Am Billy was greeting to end there. They were sitting on a lot of gold.
That is true.
Everybody across their team has just finished items or picked up large component items after that last team fight. It was a very well played ulti combo to shut down the Talon, who seems to be the number one problem that they have this game, other than the Mordekaiser. But it's a reset. They're setting up the Baron. I think that they're just going to Baron to end it here. It would be kind of interesting to do anything else. We'll see, though. It looks like they might just be opting into the team fight.
Yeah, Team Billy, like you said, did get to go back and spend that money that they had burning a hole in their pocket, so Stro might be caught here if they check. He's able to hop over the wall.
Stone dashes the wall, the Ash arrow connects onto the Malphite. Not the right person to do that to. They do damage, but that Malphite is a tanky boy. He's finally getting to the point where things are a problem. Death Realm comes out. Strong is actually able to hide under the vial. This could be a good setup for Dream Daddies. They're going to land the Q onto the Talon to slow him down. Vi ults onto him, but Yasuo went forward. And so because the Yasuo ult went forward, huge Zyra ult manages to kill 3, and they're going to manage to collapse. That was exactly what they needed. Dream Daddies played that really, really well to set that up. They baited out the Mordekaiser ult and survived it. The Malphite ate the Ash arrow and a lot of the other opening burst damage. That was a really well set up and taken fought by the Dream Daddies. The only surviving member is the Talon, who managed to kill the Soraka in the back line.
Absolutely. Yes, that gold lead shrinks even further now. Just under 6k gold lead now for, or just over rather, 6k gold lead for Team Billy here. I think Dream Daddies probably should have, they were already on the top side of the map, they probably should have rushed down the Baron. Instead, now they're going to have to fight over this Infernal Drag here.
See, I think that this was a big mistake made by Dream Daddies here not resetting. They're sitting with almost 2,000 gold on both of their carries, both the Zyra and the Yasuo on almost 2,000 gold. As this dragon's going to spawn in 15 seconds, it's the Soul Drake. They can't back and spend that gold now. Mordekaiser TP's in. He's just going to try to force it. Malphite's not there. He doesn't have TP. They're going to have to fight this 5v4 or give up the Infernal Soul. Vi dashes in, gets Mordekaiser ulted. Infernal Soul goes down. They lose one for it. A little bit of miscommunication on the part of Dream Daddies again, making decisions as to what they want to do. The Ash Arrow flies wide, but Soraka is going to die. He gets cut off by that Talon anyways. The Zyra's in a position she can't do much. She ults to try to save her own life. That's Soul. That's 3. This is going to be the game.
Yeah, really, really desperate situation there. Strom doing what he had to do to try to make sure that that Soul didn't go over, but I think it's either Soul or game, or Soul and game, or just game at that point. So
with Malphite out of position, I think that I want to see them try to make a play to make the trade for Baron. If you have to give up the Soul, do something else. Try to get anything else back. They needed to reset faster. I don't know why their whole team wasn't there. They had the advantage after winning that last trade. The only person who was dead was Soraka. I would have really liked to see Dream Daddy set up a vision line around that dragon and reset. They're just going to smack down the base. The Zyra gets pulled forward. The Ash volleys kills her. The Yasuo knockup goes on too, but he just doesn't have enough damage. Mordekaiser ult comes out, Soraka falls. This is going to be the base.
wow.
This is going to be the game. Really valiant effort at the end there trying to claw it back, but I think that Dream Daddies just had a few too many moments where they didn't communicate what they wanted to do as a team well. They kind of were on different pages, and they went different directions, and that ultimately cost them that game.
A lot of indecision, definitely, and some miscommunications. I completely agree. Must have been the case for Dream Daddies here. I think, as you stated early on, Vi really should have conceded the fact that she wasn't going to be a damage dealer and just opt into the tank. But instead, she spends the 3,000, some odd gold on the Triforce, and sets herself really far back, I think, to really be effective in this game. Yasuo does get the QSS, but he rushes the Mercurial Scimitar too. I think it's just a lot of sunken gold there.
I think that knowing that your Yasuo is your win con, I think that they needed to pick up that QSS a lot earlier. After the very first time that the Mordekaiser walks in and ults that Yasuo out of the fight and denies their entire engage and team comp, you need to be indexing into that QSS. You need to just pay that Mord tax and try to make your plays around that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And looking over at the side of Team Billy, I mean, gold leads across the board. Talon absolutely popped off this game, and Mordekaiser as well, with a 5k gold lead in his lane at the end.
So let's talk about those gold leads. Let's talk about MVP. I think it's a 2-horse race here for MVP. I'm curious as to who you pick.
It's really tough this game, I think, but I feel like I have to give it to iGlitchy on the Talon here. Just having an absolutely pop-off game, running all over the map, making chaos for Dream Daddies, making it impossible for them to make the decisions that they need to make this game possible.
I gotta say, Illuminati played out of his mind. He was shut down. He was massive, but his ults were huge. But iGlitchy just was devastating. He split the team up. He escaped. He dragged them all over the place. He almost made it so they couldn't think he'd communicate because they never knew where he was. He'd run into their team and get out, and then they couldn't decide which way to go because they didn't know where the Talon was. As far as your ace, who do you think your ace was on that game?
I think I go back and forth. I think it's between Cheese Blaze and ZZ Dog. ZZ Dog had a great game getting the damage where he needed to get it, but I don't think that Dream Daddies as a whole did a great job of playing to their win condition this game. So I think that being said, I feel like I want to give it to Cheese Blaze a little bit here. Maybe that's top laner to top laner bias, but I think despite having a really bad matchup, he still was able to be pretty effective in this game.
So I actually agree with you. Those are the two that I was going back and forth between. I agree. I think ZZ Dog mispositioned a little bit too much for my likings towards the end. They didn't play towards their win cons. And Cheese Blaze, despite being down in that lane, played his lane very well. He knew what he was there to do. He was there to get that Yasuo ahead. He TP'd bot. He sacrificed his own lane. All game, he kept sacrificing to make the team comp work. I think he did exactly what his team wanted from him, and he's my ace also. Moving forward into the next game, what do we want to see change out of Dream Daddies to try to not trip and fall into another Team Billy trap?
So I think if you look at these team comps on paper, this game is definitely a coin flip. So I would say, looking into the next game for Dream Daddies, you want to see what you can do to make it more favorable for your team comp, right? Because you've got a great team comp here, but it's pretty difficult to execute into the Mordekaiser. So I think if you want to run a single carry comp again, you definitely want to ban out the Mordekaiser. That way Yasuo doesn't have to spend that 1500 gold on the QSS.
I agree. I think 100% you ban the Mordekaiser. I would like to see them not let the Talon into this game also. I don't know if they're stuck banning other things. Unfortunately, not having the pro draft, we're not sure what they're trying to deny. But I think that the Talon was a huge problem for them, and unless they have a really clever answer to him, I would like to see both him and the Mordekaiser not show up in this next game. As far as Team Billy went, they controlled that game for most of it. They got caught in a couple of weird places, but that was just the fact that they didn't have a comp that really catered to winning the game. They had a comp that catered to beating the enemy. And so when they had to push to win the game, I think that they were stuck walking into traps that they didn't necessarily want to fight in. But they turned them around and won them anyways because they were already massive. We're going to take a quick couple-minute break to get this next game queued up for you, and then we'll be back with Game 2 of Dream Daddies versus Team Billy. And we're back with Game 2 of Dream Daddies versus Team Billy. And we don't have our pick and ban list again. So we're looking at Illuminati switches over onto the Malphite this time, swapping sides on that tank. We've got I Am Stro on the Rek'Sai in the jungle, another early aggression AD champion. We've got iGlitchy still on that Talon. I'm not sure how that made it back into this game, but I hope it doesn't turn out to be a problem. Joe Killerell on the Caitlyn, and Aoka stealing the Soraka away from Nikki Might. And then on the team of Dream Daddies, Cheeseplay switches over onto the Fiora, looking like he wanted to try to do something a little spicy. Wasn't about that tank duty and is up into a Malphite. That's just not going to be fun. Strom stays on the Vi. Nikki Might picks up the Heimerdinger, which I don't know, CCK, you're going to have to tell me if this is a champion you've seen out of him before, but that's always a bizarre one. Young Fiend picks up the Galio to pair with the Senna. Spicy Senna Galio bot lane.
Yeah, so I think Nikomite, I presumably Dream Dad or Team Billy rather did ban out his Zillion, and with them picking away the Soraka as well, starts to pinch his pool a little bit and force him onto some actual mid lane champions. So, I Am Stro though on the side of Team Billy definitely does love these early game aggression junglers like the Lee Sin and the Rek'Sai. And it's interesting, like you said, that the talent made it through. I'm surprised.
Especially after hearing you say that, if I Am Stro likes these early aggressive junglers, you don't really want an assassin that can jump over your walls into your jungle to join him. I would think that would be a big thinking thing you kind of want to try to avoid. But I like the Senna pickup. I wish they would have picked a Maokai or something else with it, because I think Galio's awesome and he brings a lot, but I don't know that he's going to bring as much to a predominantly AD team comp that they're playing into.
Yeah.
But with all of that said and done, let's load onto the Rift and see how this one plays out.
Masaki!
Alright, some early pings coming out here on the side of Dream Daddies, but it does look like they're going into a 5-point.
That would be my guess. That's what the pings looked like roughly to me.
Actually, it looks like
they-
Nikomite's.
Yeah, they're trying to avoid the Fiora Malphite lane. They might have looks like they might have done a cheeky lane swap to send Cheese Blaze mid.
Yeah, I like this lane swap honestly because Fiora into Malphite is a nightmare scenario for Fiora. um,
You know, the lane's not as bad as it seems early. Fiora, I think, actually can win it early levels if she plays it right. But after level 4 or 5, once that Bramble Vest is built, Fiora needs to get out of that lane.
Minions have
Absolutely.
spawned.
yes, they might be able to afford, like if Malphite switches back to just keep it that way. But Heimerdinger, I don't believe, has a great time into Talon either. So I think it's doubly beneficial. Actually, it looks like Malphite might be rotating over. Yeah, they're swapping back.
I'm a big proponent of Malphite mid. For those of you that don't know, I think it's a lot of fun to play, especially if you get a Talon or a Zed picked into you. So if they were going to leave that Talon pick, I actually would have liked to see the Malphite mid come out. I know that a lot of people don't like that kind of thing, but it can be pretty fun.
Ooh, spicy buff to possible gank here in the bot lane right away.
Unfortunately, the blue buff doesn't necessarily provide the best gank support, but here it comes. They landed onto the Soraka, but with Galio having started Q, all that they get for their trouble is a little bit of a chunk, and Caitlyn's range and damage means that the trade actually goes in favor of Team Billy despite the number advantage being against them. Looks like Rek'Sai, seeing the cheekiness from Vi, decides that he's either going to go kill her at her red buff or take her red buff from her. Some nice counter jungling coming out of Iron Stro here.
Yeah, that's a really good heads up play to make that trade. And Vi, the result is Vi's going to get triple buffed here.
Yeah, and Rek'Sai is a great champion for this because he doesn't have a mana pool. She doesn't have a mana pool, I suppose. So she can really skip her blue buff without much cost. I kind of wish that he had stayed around and taken those Krugs and tried to force something up top or just waited for the Vi to come into the Krug camp. But I understand wanting to get back to the safety of your own jungle. It's just that extra denial would have been real harsh.
Yeah, that would absolutely put Vi in a really bad spot. But Vi, I think, has caught on or maybe went up and checked, but knows that that red buff is gone and is probably assuming that the whole top side is gone. So now is opting to go for the bot side scuttle.
Really smart, clever pathing out of both our junglers here. The early Rek'Sai gank held the knockup until after. Flash for flash, auto back. Cheese Blaze turns that around beautifully after early pulling the trigger on that. Oh, and the chasing E. Dream Daddies managed to turn around what looked like should have been really bad for them. Absolutely excellent.
Yeah, really well played by both squads there. I mean, Stro oversteps a little bit, but it is a sacrifice for the first blood. And then Strom on the side of DD comes and cleans up the play. So good heads up play again by these junglers, just being on top of it.
Strom coming over here to try to pull a real good gank. There's no vision down. They don't know he's there.
Wow. This is a deep flank.
Catch goes on to Raka first. Heal comes out. The Raka's gonna drop. ZZ Dog picks up the kill. Galio's backing up. The Rek'Sai's here now. Heal comes out.
Oh no, the trap.
The trap. Sneaky trap manages to get him. Oh, the vision from the ward. He didn't know it was there, so all he did was wound up giving the double kill over to the Rek'Sai. And that is a really, really good path by Ian Stro to respond directly to the Vi. He sees the Vi. Is he going to go over the wall? Is he going to greed for it? Stro gets away. Strom gets away from Stro. Oh, that's going to be... And Cheese Blaze real low in the mid lane.
Barely escapes that.
The Illuminati barely survives. A little bit of greedy out of Stro. And it looks like he's going to fall. And a big shutdown onto the Vi here. That's going to be huge. Both junglers, almost 100% kill participation on both teams. The only kill that wasn't participated on by a jungler was the trade kill that Cheese got on Stro diving him early. What a game coming out of both of these jungles.
Yeah, this one's an exciting one. So this is definitely one where you're gonna want to see the Vi building the damage, trying to get into that. Oh,
Oh, Vi is lucky that net didn't hit her.
yeah. I think Vi just needs to reset here, spend her gold. She's got 2,100 gold in the inventory here. Let's see what she decides to pick up.
Deja vu all over again.
Gotta be boots and finished item, right? Oh, not quite. Not quite enough gold to finish the item.
Yeah, not quite enough to finish it, but she does get up. She does pick up the blue smite and the Caulfield's Warhammer and boots. So yeah, junglers neck and neck here, basically dead even, 2,700 gold apiece, 2k gold between the two top laners that are playing mid lane now. 1,700 gold, or 1,800 rather, on the Heimer to the 1,900 on the Talon. Wow.
Really good combo coming out bot lane to chunk that Soraka down. Ashe trying to sweep, potentially sneak the dragon, but gets spotted out. Malphite walking down from the mid lane.
He's got ult.
Vi spots him out though. Vi might be dead here.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful snare from ZZ Dog, looking real comfortable on this Senna. I was real. Oh, and a disconnect. I was real skeptical about the Heimerdinger Talon matchup in the top lane, but it's looking really good for them because it's keeping the Talon away from the rest of the map.
Yeah,
I feel like switching the Talon top might not have worked out as well for Team Billy as they had originally hoped.
Absolutely, yeah, because like the downside is Malphite has no chance into a Heimerdinger, right? But Heimerdinger is so safe that effectively neither does Talon. Talon's not going to get the huge lead like he had last game, and like you said, he's not going to be able to roam as effectively. So yeah, this is really good, good lane swap for DD. Bramble Vest is complete for the Malphite though, so he's going to really start taking over this lane. Fiora has not been able to back and finish the Tiamat. He's got the gold for it, but just needs to find a good back timing. Tiamat complete on the Talon, and double amp tomes on the Heimerdinger, so probably going for one of the glacial build items, presumably the GLP. Ooh, Malphite ult.
Malphite ult mid, but the parry to stay alive. Couple of turret shots taken there. Fiora must be real close to 7 to be staying around. Oh, Vi's coming mid, but it might wind up being a bait because the Rek'Sai's also there. Is Vi gonna fall here? It looks like the answer to that is yes. Oh, and Stro, I thought Stro was gonna greed for that and ulti in.
Would not have been uncharacteristic, I think, considering the first blood play, but
Oh, bot lane getting real aggressive here. They're going to be in a bad spot. They walked up into a 2v3. They have no support. ZZ Dog's going to fall.
banana to death.
And that looks like it's going to be a free dragon for the side of Team Billy. Off of some slightly over-aggressive play from the bot lane of Dream Daddies. Oh my god, the Galio steal!
Fiend!
Young Fiend going off and picks up the kill. Fiora's there, trying to shut down the Soraka. Manages to get those vitals off, gets the healing puddle off. Fiora gets another kill. ZZ Dog just shows up. Nikki might TP'd in.